So I went up and pulled vacuum on the IWE actuators, which are the four-wheel drive ends, and I pulled vacuum of 25 inches, no leaks at all. And then I checked the vacuum side going to the solenoid that controls the IWEs. And if you don't know what IWE means, it means integrated wheel end. It basically sits inside a cup that at all times it's got vacuum on it, so it's not applied. And then once you want four-wheel drive, it shuts the solenoid off, which takes vacuum away from the IWEs, which then engages the four-wheel drive system. So all that checked out. For some reason, this motor is popping really bad, and I think the motor is actually failing, because if you actually grab the four-wheel drive, like this axle part right here, and move it, it spins freely. It's not binding up or anything. I need to know now if this thing is not bad. So go ahead and start the truck up. Put it in neutral. Put it in four-wheel drive low. Four-wheel drive high. Alright, now I'm going to put it back on the truck and start, and I'm going to tighten the bolts up, shut it off real quick. I'm going to put the motor back on there, and then I'm going to have you do the same thing again, because it could have been a bad electrical connection. Alright, start it back up, do it again. Start it back up, put it, shift it in four-wheel drive low. Four-wheel drive high. Four-wheel drive low. You got it neutral. Four-wheel drive high. Back to low. Okay, seems to be working fine now. Maybe it was just poor connection or something. Maybe this motor just needed to be disconnected and put back together. So let me go outside and try it real quick in the snow. And just so you know, what I did to check the IWE, the integrated wheel ends, to see if they were losing vacuum, see if any vacuum lines were broken. So what I ended up doing is I pulled this lower vacuum hose off right here, and I pulled vacuum on this line. This line is what tees into both IWEs on both sides, this bottom vacuum line. And it held 25 inches of vacuum, no problem, so nothing was leaking from here down. And then I pulled this line off, which goes to your brake booster and stuff and supplies vacuum to the solenoid for your four-wheel drive. And this is what either turns on or off. Normal operation, two-wheel drive, this is turned on and has vacuum going to this port all the time, because vacuum is what releases the IWEs. And when you turn your four-wheel drive on, it shuts this off. So essentially what you can do to check and make sure everything's working fine, go ahead and unplug this bottom. Unplug your solenoid. You see it quit. It's not pulling vacuum anymore. So now what I'll do, plug it back in. Solenoid's working. Now you got a vacuum leak. And then if you want to check what type of vacuum your vehicle's actually making, you can hook a vacuum gauge up to it and then hook to the vacuum port here that goes right from the booster and stuff, and see what kind of how many inches of vacuum. This is pulling 17 inches. The line going down is holding, which you go ahead and hook this thing up and you actually pump it up while it's hooked up to the lines going down to the IWEs, and I go up to about 20 inches, 25 inches of vacuum, and it holds just fine. I know my lines are fine. I know my solenoid's good. I know my check valve is good. And what I want to do is, at this point, I took that motor off, I let it run back and forth, broke the connection, put it all back together. Now I'm going to actually go outside and see if it's working. If it malfunctions again, I'm going to actually put a four-wheel drive motor in it, the actuator. Okay, let's go try out the four-wheel drive real quick and see if we get the four-wheel drive disabled message. So I actually got down there and had somebody sit in the vehicle, and I had them switch between 2, 4 high and 4 low, and tried to see the motor position. The motor's not recognizing 4 high at all. Anyway, yeah, it's not shifting into 4 high at all. So the motor's bad, the potentiometer. I'm going to go into IDS real quick and actually check my 4-wheel drive position and verify that it actually sees it, and then sees it from the switch, and then I might order a motor. Okay, let's try this with the vehicle running. I put it back in 2-wheel drive. See. Okay, it says 2-wheel drive. Put it in 4 high. The dash indicates 4 high. And now we're going to go 4 low.
Make sure you got all your position on the switch.
Yep, 4 low. So I'm going to be putting a motor in it. This motor is not functioning properly. So it's recognizing all positions from the switch. The dash is recognizing all positions from the switch. The IWEs are good. The vacuum system's good. The solenoid's good. The check valve's good. Everything's good. Everything all comes back to either internal in the transfer case or the motor itself. And the motor is just not doing what it's supposed to do. When I switch it to 4-wheel drive high, I can look at the motor and it's staying in the 2-wheel drive position. If I switch it to 4-wheel drive low, I can see the motor move over to low, but it's so weak that it's not able to turn the warm gear, and it's just lagging out. I go back to 4-wheel drive high, and it never even moves to 4-wheel drive high. It goes to the 2-wheel drive position. So the switch is working fine. All the communication's working fine. The motor is not functioning fine. It's on back order right now, so I have to emergency order it to get it here, and Ford will pay the dealer to do that as long as it's still under some kind of warranty. And this vehicle's got ESP, so I will be replacing the 4-wheel drive motor in this thing. That will be the fix for the 4-wheel drive system. So we will have a continuing here in a couple days whenever the motor comes in.